My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review for Tales from the Crypt Season 3. And this review will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But I say review like that because it's not really a review. I can't talk about the season as a whole because it's an anthology show. So, what I do instead is rank each episode in each season from worst to best. But I will say that I actually found season 3 to be the most consistent so far. It definitely has its stinkers, but the ratio here is 50-50. That's pretty good, actually. So, anyways, let's begin by talking about the worst episode, and I won't waste time on it. It's Deadline. This one's directed by Walter Hill, and I just found it to be so bland, so boring, so forgettable, completely ineffective, and let's just move on. The second worst one is Dead Weight, and this one's directed by Toby Hooper. The guy who directed Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 and 2. He directed Poltergeist. He's also directed a bunch of other movies I haven't seen, but he is still a horror legend. And I just thought this one was really bland and ineffective and pretty boring. Whoopi Goldberg does a perfectly fine job in it, but I really did not care for it. The third worst one is The Reluctant Vampire, and this one's directed by Elliot Silverstein, and I just found it to be bland. The ending is kind of decent, but everything up until then was just so generic and so blah, and yeah, it just didn't do anything for me. The fourth worst one is Undertaking Palo, which is directed by Michael Thu. And I wanted to like this one because it's going for a coming-of-age feel, but I just thought the execution missed the mark entirely. Really bland, really boring, ineffective, it's forgettable, let's move on. The next... Interesting. I lied before. This is the last one I don't like. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I didn't like, and 9 I did like. Actually, that's good. I don't know why I said 7 and 7 earlier. Anyways, 10, Morning Mess. I really did not care for 90% of this one, but I do like the big reveal at the end. It's just a shame the word getting to that destination was so incredibly bland. But, okay, from this point on, I like them. So number 9 is Killing Death, which is the second one, and it's directed by Stephen E. D'Souza, and it just focuses on this prisoner in the desert, and he gets handcuffed to a cop. It's kind of blah, it's not the most exciting, but it has its moments, and I did like the ending, and it's fine enough. The 8th best one is The Trap, and this one's actually directed by Michael J. Fox from Back to the Future and Stuart Little and The Frighteners and The Hard Way and The Secret of My Success, and I found his directing here to be kind of lackluster, to say the least. I do like the first 80%. There's a good story here. It feels like a classic Tales from the Crypt storyline. But then it kept going and going and going, and I didn't need the entire trial, and by the end, I just felt like it overstayed its welcome. Still a good story, still effective enough, but should have trimmed it down by 5 minutes. The 7th best one is Easier Kill You, and this one's directed by John Harrison. And Tim Roth does do a really good job here, and I like the story being told, and I kind of like the idea of the ending, but I don't know, I just felt like the execution wasn't as strong as it could have been, but it's still pretty decent overall. The sixth best one is Split Second, and this one's directed by Russell McCaury, and this is the one with the Lumberjack Company. Yeah, it's just a fun one. Like, Tales from the Crypt has so many storylines about affairs and, it feels very at home in this show. And, yeah, it's exactly what you would expect from this episode. It's good, it's entertaining, it's never, amazing, but I enjoyed it. The fifth best one is, speaking of Tales from the Crypt always has storylines about affairs, Spoiled, and this one's directed by Andy Woke, and I just kind of like the story here. It's so silly and it's so over the top, and it was able to capture that necessary camp element that I found really elevated this. And I do like the direction of where this story goes, but I felt like the makeup effects at the end were really weak. I know it's meant to be funny, but I don't know. I feel like it could have also been a tad bit scarier. So, still a good story. It's really funny, but didn't quite knock it out of the park. The fourth best one is Top Billing, directed by Todd Holland. And here you've got an actor who, keeps having the worst luck. And there's one guy who keeps getting cast because he's just got the right face, and they both want to get the job of Hamlet. And for the vast majority of this episode, I was like, this is fine, it's nothing great, but it's well acted and entertaining enough. But I fucking loved the ending. It's just, in hindsight, I should have seen it coming, but it is so good, and it really did elevate this entire episode. The third best episode, and judging by the IMDb ratings, this might be a hot take, but it's episode 1, Loved to Death, directed by Tom Mankiewicz, and I like stories with love portions, and I love how you've got this completely unlikable character who gets himself into a terrible situation, and it's really over the top and campy and kind of funny, but also really sinister at the same time. So I was liking this episode, but I loved the ending. He accidentally gets poisoned and he's in the afterlife, and then she appears and she's like, oh, as soon as you died, I had to kill myself. Oh, sorry, I'm on YouTube. Unalive myself. Now we can be together forever. Perfect ending. Perfect. Loved it. The second best episode, and I'm going to be honest, this one kind of pissed me off. Abracadabra. Now this one's directed by Stephen Hopkins, who directed The Dream Child, The Ghost in the Darkness, Lost in Space, Predator 2, and he does a really great job here. He really does. I love the story that was being told, and it's really effective. You've got this guy who pulled a prank on his brother, and his brother had to pay a serious price as a result, and now his brother's getting revenge by killing his body, but allowing it so his brain is active. And this episode just freaked me out. I would actually say this episode is terrifying. It just makes you sick to your stomach, and it's so psychologically effective, and oh my goodness, I was just loving it. I was ready to give this episode a perfect 10, and to say it's the best episode of the series, and nothing will beat it. But they fucking copped out. I really didn't care for the ending. It felt like it was afraid to really commit to its premise, and then you kind of got the same ending, but now I didn't. It's it was straightforward, it was effective, it was brilliant, and then you just complicated it at the very end. I still loved this episode, but I'm pissed off at how badly they fucked up at the end. But still, like, up until that point, seriously disturbing. But my favorite episode, and I'm kind of shocked I'm saying this, but it's Yellow. And this one's directed by Robert Zemeckis from Back to the Future, and Romancing the Stone, and Polar Express, and Heel, and The Walk, and Castaway, and What Lies Beneath, and Contact, and The Witches, and Beowulf, and Allied, and Pinocchio. The guy's directed a crazy amount of movies. Oh, Forrest Gump, of course, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But I am not a fan of war movies. I just find them all to look and feel the same. But the story here, I just found to be so effective. You've got Colt and Eric Douglas giving great performances, and you know, like, for lots of this episode, I was like, okay, this is fine. You know, like, pretty much this guy doesn't want to partake in war, and his father insists, and they have very different world views. And the son gets charged with cowardice, and he's going to be put to death by firing squad. And his dad is just like, of course I wouldn't let you die. Are you crazy? No, they're going to be fine blanks. I'm going to get you out of here. You're going to be fine. And then, because he knows he's not going to die, he wants to come across as this brave man, and he says all the right things, and everybody looks up to his strengths and his lack of fear as he's going to be put to death. And then he realizes, oh shit. He wasn't telling the truth. And he gets shot and he's killed. And, oh man, like, his dad finally found a way to make sure that his son's cowardice wasn't going to be hanging over his head. And I don't know, this one just really affected me. I thought it was, like, so mean-spirited, but also thematically interesting, and it's just doing so much, and I really did love it. I think it was the longest episode of the entire show, but yeah, this one is really, really great. Like, that ending, just utter gut punch. And I should have seen it coming, but I love it when I don't. So, anyways, that's my ranking of Season 3 of Tales from the Crypt. What's your ranking? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin, out.